my name is Jakub Stefaniak. I work at VP of Innovation at Akiva Labs. Additionally, I speak quite a lot about AppExchange, so I try to stop speaking so much, and I publish a book on this matter, but then the data cloud happened and my book is already outdated, so it's why I'm here today. And to be really honest, I do not consider myself as a data cloud expert, but I have a thing that everybody is talking about data cloud, that it's growing so much and bringing so much value, and you can buy it even if you don't have a Salesforce and just send as a transfer, right? So that's nice, but at the end, I haven't met many people who really seen data cloud or use data cloud. So I came to the point that maybe with Akiva Labs, we can share our solutions and our experience, because it's not like just mythical creature. It's a real product which is GA, which is nice in Salesforce ecosystem. And during last years, we spent some time on building 3 managed packages for AdForm, LiveRamp, and Locator X, which are live managed packages for data cloud. It helped us to gather some experience and some point of view about this technology. So what is the plan for today? First of all, I would like to help you understand why you might be interested in building managed package related to data cloud, and how difficult is it really to do it. Then, where should you start? Because it's totally different beast with different technological stacks, so literally how to go for this. What I want to be clear about is not data cloud 101. Data cloud is at this moment not very big, but still, to go through all these concepts, you will need to invest at least few days. Luckily on Trailhead there are some pretty good materials, so I would say today we are going to just touch it on very high level, and you know what to do if you really want to master this topic. So, what are the typical use cases for ISVs? Luckily, only 3 of them are really common in the ecosystem. First, that you want to take data out of the data cloud. So it's what we did for AdForm and LiveRamp. Our customers have already external platforms related to ad targeting, and to better serve their customers, they want to take data existing on data cloud and upload them to these external systems. Opposite direction is that when we want to bring data into the data cloud. So the third project which we built for Locator X is a customer who have like lots of data about where exactly your assets are in the particular place and moment of time, and they want to bring it to data cloud so their customers can use it to enhance the customer profiles inside of data cloud for some analytics. And the last use case is as well bringing data into data cloud, but as extension of your existing managed package. So if you have some custom objects, some custom fields, probably you would like sooner or later allow your customers to move your existing records and data into data cloud in easy way without hassle of configuring everything by hand. And frankly speaking, I don't have yet any experience with this. The main reason is the fact that since April, it was not possible to use second generation managed packages with data cloud. And technically, you cannot build all technology, so first generation extension, to a core AppExchange app, which is using the new technology. So for many ISVs, it was just a blocker. Now, as second generation started to be supported for data cloud, I'm expecting that very soon we are going to see first applications of this kind going live, so maybe next year we'll have as well something to share. And okay, first things first, data cloud. Terminology and naming in Salesforce are always messy, so you should always keep in mind that it was exactly the same as Salesforce CDP, it was exactly the same as Genie, and it's important because if you check official Salesforce documentation, you will find randomly used all these legacy names. So without knowing this all history, you can be easily confused, and probably you will work with documentation quite a lot because, as I said, data cloud, it's different. So it's not as simple as using Salesforce platform and starting to use Sales Cloud or Salesforce Cloud. You have a lot of different concepts because data cloud as a tool is not simple platform, it's a lake house. So touching this data cloud one-on-one terminology, we have the data streams, which are generally metadata, how we import data to data cloud. We have data source objects, so it's like this original format coming to data cloud. On top of this, we have data lake objects, which we keep transform data in data cloud. To make it even more complex, you can have then view of how you represent this raw data from lake objects, and we call them model objects. Then, from times of using only CDP terminology, there are like special declarative way to match these different records to find that this particular real human being is like 3 different records which you are using. And then you have some declarative way to calculate insights on top of this. Quite lots of things, and as I said, it's not a rocket science. Trailhead is serving really well with going through this concept. If you need, go for it. The reason why, as ISV, probably you would like to have sooner or later this extension to your core package is that your customer probably is not going to be happy to spend few days educating about all these new things. So if you just have extension to your package, you will make daily life much easier with using your data in data cloud. Segments, another simple thing, how to split your big customer base into like the meaningful segments, and then how to take this data out of platform. So instead of building APIs integrations, you can use activations and activation targets. And 2 specific things which I'm going to speak today, related mostly for ISVs, are firstly, data kits is a concept of package inside of your managed package. So you can add all these complex new words from data cloud world to the data kit, add data kit to your package, and the chance that you will forget something or break some dependencies is going to be strongly reduced. And you have as well external activation platforms, which is nothing more like a way for you to define the integration with your storage system. So it's a way how you allow your customers to send data from their data cloud without need of providing them access key, secret key, and all these things which probably you would prefer to keep for yourself. And for them, we are going to dive a little bit deeper today. So, data kit. Super simple animal. As you see, it's purely declarative interface. When I can add to a single data kit streams, models, and calculated insights. So these data cloud specific things which I configured. And thanks to this, when customer install my app, they do not need to make all this mapping on their own. It just automatically happens on their data cloud. Activation platforms as well. Rather simple animal. You can set some basic parameters. So for example, how often you want to automatically send data from data cloud to your S3 storage, what is the delivery option, and provide access key and secret key for your integration. So all your customers are going to send data to your common S3 bucket without like exposing these details. Then tricky part is how to test then this integration coming out of Salesforce. So how to test activation targets. Theoretically, it's simple. You just need to build in the package, install, configure some segments, click publish. The problem is, and documentation is only saying that data cloud is close to real time. As you hear, I'm not English native speaker, but I was quite surprised that close to real time can be half hour or 2 hours. So I think it's just some semantic difference, right? And the problem with this is the fact that after it's like publicated, it works, but until it works, it fails silently. So you click this button, you wait, there is no error message, you see that processing is done, you don't have records in your external system, and you have no idea what's going on, right? Maybe in this case, you would like to click publish again. I would say it's not a great idea because there is a limit about how many times you can publish this request. So there are like limit for 24 hours per day and max 2 per hour. So if you clicked twice after installation and it was too early to be in real time and you click next time, it's again not going to work, but because of the different reason. And again, you don't have an error message saying why it went badly. So hint for this, be patient. When you are testing your package, give it some love, give it some time, go for a walk, and after 1 hour, there's a big chance that things are going to start work as they should. How the output looks like. So it's a screenshot from our S3 bucket. And as you see, we have like some simple structure. The date, year, month, day, then the name of our account ID, some hash, and some like extra details. So the structure is kind of hard-coded in Data Cloud. If we check in the documentation, we have like exactly the same information. So we can add some prefix related to our bucket. But if, for example, you would like to have day, month, year instead of year, month, date, I don't have any good news for you. So I've spoken with ISV team and their roadmap. They understand that current solution is not very flexible, so they have some ideas and some plans how to change it. But frankly speaking, what they currently have in the roadmap, it's not matching expectations from customers for whom we work. So like, then it's a little bit more tricky. And how to solve this problem, right? If you have like existing system and you really need to modify the things, you can wait probably a few years for Salesforce, or you can go with some custom development. So it's what we figured out, that from Salesforce, you use this out-of-the-box technology to send CSV file, it's this activation target which you configured, to a single S3 bucket. In this S3 bucket, you then go with some lambdas, maybe some simple Python script, which is taking this raw data and making all this transformation for you. Changing the name of the folders, maybe removing some headers, changing the, I don't know, file format, whatever you need. And then you save it to another S3 bucket, which then your external system can proceed. If you have already some AWS capacity in your company, it sounds like maybe a few hours, maybe a few days of development. It's going to be super easy. If you don't have it, then it's a little bit more about making decision, do I really want to introduce extra complexity to my company, and after this one guy who will learn this leave, nobody will be able even to log into my AWS? Unfortunately, then situation is a little bit more complex, and maybe just changing your external system to be more flexible can be as well a good option. In terms of this S3 bucket, Salesforce gave us documentation saying how to configure it. So for example, there are some permissions which are required. So documentation is pretty good. The problem is that it's not enough. One of our customers have requirement that they're working with different customer data platforms. So Data Cloud is going to be only one of them. And they would like to have a single S3 bucket with permissions only to the subfolder. So Salesforce publish data to Salesforce folder, but without access to other vendors, which sounds pretty reasonable, but unfortunately is not going to work with our case. Besides of the standard permission which I mentioned in the documentation, Salesforce require access to the root folder of your S3 bucket, which means that probably having a dedicated S3 bucket just for Data Cloud is going to save you some problems. The bad thing is that, again, if it fails silently. So you see that the status changed from processing to success. And as success, we understand no data in your external system and no history of what exactly happened. So it's one of the examples that, for me, for solving these problems, if I try to understand how I will be designing system like Data Cloud, I can predict what maybe is like some blocker and then find some workaround. But it requires literally to spend quite some time to feel comfortable with all these aspects. The good thing is that Andres Perez published a very good article about how to configure these S3 buckets from scratch. So even if you don't have this AWS capacity, you can just follow this content, make dedicated new bucket, and then it's going to probably work as it should. In terms of how to get access to Data Cloud, because if you want to build this managed package, it's a standard thing. You need to have packaging org, you need to have your QA org, and org for security review. Officially, you can just go to your partner community, open a case, and request Salesforce to give you these free orgs, right? The problem is that it's not always working. So for one of our customers, we get a very unexpected answer that currently we are only able to provision the Data Cloud add-on to ISV partners in the base tier and higher, which is quite interesting because base tier, again, I'm not native speaker, but it's like the base, right? So I checked in Google Translate, and then we came to the point that after speaking again and again, we find out that Salesforce support is not really finding difference between Data Cloud as free product for some partners and developer environments. Solution for this? Give them some love, send links to documentation, speak with your account manager, and after a few weeks we're able to sort out this particular challenge. And okay, you have your free new Data Cloud environments. Why free? Because there is hard limit per company. So if you would like, for example, create 2 different managed packages for Data Cloud, you will need to either be very flexible and reuse some of them, or just register a new company. But maybe it's something that as well can be solved. The access then, simple, to your grant permission, you make security review, you submit it, and it's one of the responses which we get. So we have like 2 problems. First, we didn't attach checkmark results. We just kind of expected static code analysis for any custom development. I thought that if we have no custom code and it's just metadata, we don't need it. When they told us that it's required, who am I to change this, right? So I just opened my computer, created new empty folder, ran static code analysis on empty folder and get empty results. So that solved the first problem. But the second, remove non-dependent packages from our test environment. That's more interesting one. And for this, the answer is a little bit more tricky. Because when we check our security review environment, besides of our managed package, there are 2 pre-installed packages: Salesforce Standard Data Model and CDP Advertising. If we try to uninstall the first one, we get information that we cannot because it's mandatory part of Data Cloud. Okay, the second, so that's simple, right? We can just explain this. The second one is more tricky because we can successfully uninstall CDP Advertising, but then some nightly process automatically install it again during the night. So if you just send documentation that you uninstalled it and they check it after 2 days, you have another situation that they can be confused. So the best solution for this problem, work with false positive documentation, explain how it works, and then they are happy to accept this kind of explanation. Just make assumption that probably person checking this is going to be like first time working with Data Cloud. So provide as many information as you can to help them better understand what's really going on. And then to summarize all these lessons which we learned during these projects, Data Cloud currently can surpass you in really many ways. And it's a totally different animal comparing to standard Salesforce. So for me, literally, it was like working with Marketing Cloud, which looks similar, but in terms of what you must to learn and how different sometimes it is, it's closer to being totally different product than just extension to Salesforce, in my opinion. And it's still animal, so this close to real time, really, it's something what you should be checking from time to time. Don't expect that if it's not working now, it's for sure a bug and you need to do something. Be patient. And then, fact that it fails silently, I think that's the biggest problem, because if you see that the status is equal to success and you have no idea what to do, the only solution for this is to try to think what potentially went wrong and experiment, because documentation is not going to give you easy answer to non-obvious things. So for me, in terms of what kind of animal is Data Cloud, I have a proposition about the new mascot. Not sure when should I send it, so I bring it today here. And getting some help. As you see, it's not so easy. So by default, you have like, as ISV, 3 ways to go. You can just contact Salesforce support. If you have right tier of your partnership, you can take some expert consultation from Salesforce. Or you can work with one of PDOs. In Akiva Labs, where I'm working, we build these 3 apps, but there are like few different expert PDOs, so there are some options in the ecosystem. The bad thing is that in case of Data Cloud, option number 1 is not going to work. So we had quite some discussion, and the conclusion from them is, after consulting with my team about the new problem we are encountering, we've determined that we are unable to offer support for this particular issue, as it pertains to developing packages which is beyond our control. So generally, and then we are speaking about some specific bug which we found. So it's not working, and they are not going to solve it because it's out of the scope of Salesforce support. That's like official conclusion. And then, literally, if you have access to partner consultation, they are much better, and you immediately see that they know what we are talking about. If you are not, because you are just starting, it's not easy. So then working with PDO probably is like the best and easiest way to get some answer. When I'm looking on this, the challenge with the fact that you need to first learn about all these data cloud concepts and all of these data cloud technologies bring me to the conclusion that if you want to build a product which is going to be core part of your business, probably you want to invest in these skills because then you understand what's going on. But if you want to just build some extension or some simple app to integrate something to data cloud for your customers, but you would like to just have it up, running, and forget, all this overhead may be a little bit heavy, and then just partnering with someone to help you build this extension can be just the easiest solution to avoid all of these things. And with this, I would like to thank you for your attention, and if you have some questions, I'm more than happy to answer.